Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Tom Green. We start at 4 o'clock with breaking news just in the last 30 minutes. An Aurora police officer charged in a case where he was caught on camera pistol whipping a suspect on the ground has been found not guilty this afternoon.
John Hobart pleaded not guilty to assault and other charges following an arrest in July of 2021. The case got a lot of local attention because video showed the violent arrest. Video showed Hobart hitting, choking, and pointing a gun at Kyle Vincent. The arrest happened when Aurora was under heavy scrutiny for its handling of other cases involving police force. Hobart's lawyers argued that he had the right to use his gun similar to a baton. They say Vincent tried to reach for Hobart's gun. Prosecutors denied that Vincent reached for it. They say Vincent was trying to protect himself. Prosecutors said Hobart strangled Vincent for 40 seconds. His team argued his fingers were around Vincent's neck, but it did not use force. Interesting to point out, another former officer was found guilty in the case for failing to intervene. Francine Martinez was sentenced to 6 months of house arrest after a jury convicted her of failing to stop Hobart.
They thought they lost me while they were en route to the hospital.
Saturday will mark 2 years since an attack nearly killed an officer in Wheat Ridge. Alan Fisher was responding to a routine call about a suspicious vehicle.
And then there was an altercation, and Andre Jones stabbed Fisher a dozen times. Now, as they prepare for trial, Fisher is reflecting on his service and trying to inspire his daughter, and spoke with 9 News reporter Brianna Clark.
This is my new Diggs, and I call it my new patrol car. This one's actually harder to drive.
Officer Alan Fisher is not used to working in a cubicle. For 2 decades, he was out patrolling the streets of Wheat Ridge. Then, April 13th, 2022, everything changed.
I'm very comfortable telling what I remember.
He remembers being called out to this area near 44th Avenue and Ward. He also remembers pulling a suspect out of a stolen U-Haul.
In the process of taking him into custody, I got stabbed 12 times, 10 times in my neck, and once in my chest, once in my back.
I can see the emotion in your eyes as you tell this story.
Well, I've got a couple daughters, and one of them was actually on scene that night.
I remember pulling next to a building, and then I was told I couldn't get out. And I think that's when I more so got upset, was I'm here to help, this is my job, but I need to make sure my dad's okay.
Officer Kylie Fisher was still in training at the time.
I saw him get loaded into the ambulance, and he had his head wrapped in bandages, but he was awake. So I think that at that point too calmed me a little bit.
But the what-ifs were still haunting her. Kylie went into law enforcement because of her dad. She dreamed of being in the same patrol car as him.
But I really wanted to work with my dad.
But that night, Kylie had second thoughts.
I told myself I'm not doing this. I was like, it's not worth it.
She knew her dad wouldn't want her to quit, so she didn't.
Does it give you a comforting feeling knowing that your dad's not on the street right now, that he's safe at a desk?
It does. I still wish that I could have gotten to work with him, and I have come to the terms that I probably won't.
It's got its benefits, I'll tell you.
Like the endless buffet of snacks.
You know, cops don't do donuts, okay? So that's we do bagels, we're professionals.
Humor got him here.
The only guy you know that gets better looking every day.
His family is helping him with the rest.
But I would like to come back. I'd like to pass our physical that we do out here in the park with everybody watching, and then I'd like to go on at least work a week or 2 with my daughter. Outside of that, then I'd probably be good to retire.
So Alan now works in the records department here at the Wheat Ridge Police Department, which means he has access to all the body cam footage, including the night he was attacked. But he tells me he refuses to watch it. His daughter, on the other hand, has seen those clips several times, and every time she gets a new look at that video, she has a better understanding of what happened. Trial is set for August 6th, and it's expected to last 4 days. Live in Wheat Ridge, Brianna Clark, 9 News.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you, Brandon. It's great to hear from both of them. And knowing what the impact a dad has had on his daughter is pretty cool.
Well, we'll see if he can get back out there and get to work with her at some point soon.
The sun is out in full force today as we go into the 60s. Come this weekend, you might actually have to turn on the AC.
Yeah. you
Good
might have-
problem.
or maybe just turn on some AC/DC and rock out. Kathy's with us now.
Now
I
you're
mean,
talking.
whatever works.
Exactly, or do both.
Yeah, that's allowable.
Since Monday, we've been talking about the potential for 80 degrees this week, and I'm sticking with it, you guys.
All right.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen.
We're
I
good
do.
with it.
Okay. We have sunshine outside in Boulder, and it's just so pretty out there. Not a lot of wind this afternoon. The evening drive underway now. And yep, there's the usual traffic, but no weather issues there. Beautiful across the Continental Divide. I-70 looking great this hour. And your weather headlines, warm and dry for the next few days. Could see over 80 degrees for the weekend and elevated fire danger, something we'll be talking about again starting tomorrow. Currently 60 in Denver, 66 in Lamar, almost 70 in Grand Junction. Winds still coming in at the surface out of the east, but aloft, more of a west to northwest flow. Wind isn't a big feature today, but still something to track as we do this time of year. And as we get into Friday, red flag warnings and fire weather watch areas already posted for southeastern Colorado. These will probably be expanded northward. Not a lot to show you on the radar. There may be a few passing high clouds, but really the big storm system is off to the east of us. So we're going to enjoy a quiet period of weather for the next few days. Easy to plan anything outdoors with low 60s now, dropping to the mid 50s after 9 o'clock. Coming up, we'll talk about the extended forecast, which Tom and Kim includes the weekend in detail in just a bit.
All right, Kathy, thanks. The Aurora dentist accused of poisoning and killing his wife is now facing a new felony charge. Prosecutors say that he tried to convince someone else to tamper with evidence.
And this means he's now accused of trying to persuade 2 people to help cover up the crime. 9 News crime and justice reporter Kelly Rinke joins us now from the newsroom. And Kelly, what do we know about the charge here?
Yeah, Kim and Tom, prosecutors are accusing James Craig of trying to persuade someone to tamper with evidence for months while he was in county jail. They claim it started the day before his arrest last year and went on until June of 2023. Court documents don't share who Craig is accused of reaching out to. Last year, prosecutors filed the same felony charge after they say Craig asked a family member to help cover up the crime. His wife, Angela Craig, died last March from lethal amounts of cyanide. Police say James Craig bought poison online weeks earlier before she died and researched how to poison someone. Investigators believe he poisoned his wife through her protein shake. We do expect to learn more information about this new charge in court. Attorneys will have to call up an endorsed witness to testify. Craig's next court appearance is on Tuesday, and the trial is set for this summer.
Another surprise in a case that has many of them, Kelly.
Yeah, and we expect to learn quite a few details on Tuesday. This is a motions hearing. The defense team has tried to throw out a lot of evidence, including those searches online, so we'll see what happens next week.
Okay, we know you're on it. Thank you. No one was seriously hurt when a school bus was rear-ended on Bridge Street in Brighton. This happened about 8 o'clock this morning. Brighton police believe the woman driving was distracted when she crashed into the back of the bus. The bus was the 27J school district bus. A district spokeswoman said that the driver and 16 middle and high school students were on board. Only minor injuries were reported. The other woman driving was taken to the hospital. We don't know anything about her injuries.
The Department of Justice has a new rule out today. It's aimed at closing the gun show loophole, which is looking for background checks on firearms. The rule says anyone selling firearms must be federally licensed and conduct background checks on potential buyers. So that means anyone selling on the internet or at a gun show or at a store. The Biden administration had first proposed the rule in August after the Uvalde Elementary School shooting. This rule is set to take effect 30 days after it's published in the Federal Register, but the rule is also likely to still be challenged in court by gun rights activists. And new numbers today show that people are still not traveling properly with firearms. In just the first 3 months of this year, the Transportation Security Administration says it seized more than 1,500 firearms at airport security checkpoints. That's an average of some 17 guns a day. The TSA says 93% of those weapons were loaded. The figure is roughly the same as the first quarter of 2023, but authorities say more passengers were screened in the first quarter of this year. Of course, traveling with a firearm is allowed, but it must be packed properly as checked baggage and declared to the airline at the ticket counter. Boy, there were some stunning new developments today in the case of Shohei Otani's interpreter amid allegations of theft and gambling. Ipe Mizuhara is facing federal bank fraud charges.
He's accused of stealing more than $16 million from Otani. The investigation revealed he used that money to fund his illegal sports gambling. They say he used his position as the baseball star's interpreter to set up a bank account for Otani, which he then used to transfer money to illegal bookmakers. Investigators say that there is no evidence that Otani authorized those transfers. The maximum penalty for being convicted of bank fraud is 30 years in prison. Major League Baseball has also opened an investigation into this.
Yeah, the information today, though, was pretty stunning as far as Ipe Muzahara saying that he bet 25 times a day with bets ranging from $10,000 to $160,000 a bet, 19,000 bets total. They talk about him winning $142 million, but losing $183 million. So there's a $40 million theft, if you will, but you're talking about a massive amount of gambling and a massive amount of money that he didn't have.
But he had the access.
He had access.
That's the thing, the
Otani.
access.
So there still will be people want to see if there's clearly no line through to Otani, but I would say Ipe Muzahara is probably in a lot of trouble.
Deep trouble.
At least what we saw today.